Pressler, California voters are placing ballots for the California governor race in the primary. I'll have a live report coming up on Chapman News.
Also, recent polls say Gen Z is not embracing AI, why this generation raised on technology is pushing back on artificial intelligence.
Don't miss it. You can't miss it. Then you're out of a legacy status.
And we'll introduce you to one woman whose legacy runs more than 2 decades at the OC Marathon. That story plus your weather and sports coming up on Chapman News.
From Orange, California, live from Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Gabriela Reynoso. Our top story today, the latest on the California governor's race. 7 candidates for governor will meet for another debate later today as voting is already underway.
Chapman News reporter Lisa Pressler joins us live in Orange to tell us more. Lisa?
Thank you, Isaiah and Gabby. I'm here at the Orange Public Library where people are already casting their ballots. Just this week, the OC Registrar of Voters inspected and unlocked 128 drop boxes throughout Orange County. The top 2 vote getters in the primary will move on to the general election regardless of party affiliation. While early polls had Republicans Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco leading, it appears Democrat Xavier Becerra has gained ground. The race has also included controversy with sexual misconduct allegations involving Representative Eric Swalwell. He was an early Democratic frontrunner, but ended his campaign last month and resigned from Congress. 2 major debates have already taken place with the candidates focused on affordability, as many Californians continue to struggle with the high cost of rent, gas, and groceries. Voters have several options to cast their ballot, including by mail, at a ballot drop box, or in person at a vote center in Orange County. And the next candidates debate takes place tonight in Los Angeles, airing on CNN at 6 p.m. There's another one tomorrow as well on KNBC. Meanwhile, voting continues throughout June 2nd. That is the last day to vote in person or return your ballot by 8 p.m. For more information or to look at a near drop box near you, visit ocvote.gov. I'm Lisa Pressler reporting live for Chapman News.
Civil rights activists are reacting to a recent U.S. Supreme Court decision that weakens the Voting Rights Act. In a 6-3 decision issued last week, the court voted to strike down a voting map in Louisiana, saying that state lawmakers illegally used race when drawing it. The ruling effectively says race-conscious redistricting under Section 2 of Voting Rights Act is unconstitutional, but advocates say Section 2 protects minorities against discrimination in voting laws.
I mean, I think we always need to be creating opportunities for more people to vote, not suppressing that right and suppressing a part of the population.
The Voting Rights Act dates back to 1965 and is largely credited with helping to increase the number of minorities elected to all levels of government, including Congress.
The Supreme Court has temporarily restored access to an abortion drug, making it legal to receive through telehealth appointments and the mail. Last week, a federal appeals court made it illegal for mifepristone to be distributed online. But yesterday, Justice Samuel Alito signed an order to restore access. His order expires next week. The Supreme Court is deciding whether to take on the case. The FDA has researched mifepristone for 20 years and concluded it was safe to use without direct medical supervision.
Spirit Airlines says it will refund tickets purchased by its passengers, now that the financially troubled airline has canceled all flights and shut down its operations. In court filings say the low-cost airline says rising jet fuel prices following the war in Iran left the company without a path forward. Executives determined last week that the airline couldn't be saved, but waited until all planes were grounded on Saturday to make that announcement. The sudden shutdown stranded thousands of passengers and left more than 17,000 employees without jobs.
California is going after one of the country's biggest insurance companies. The state insurance department wants State Farm to pay big penalties as much as $4 million for what it calls the company's mishandling of insurance claims. Those claims were filed after last year's Los Angeles area wildfires. Officials say State Farm violated numerous California laws by including failing to begin investigating claims in a timely manner and not fully compensating policyholders. State Farm denies the state's claims and issued a statement, saying, We strongly disagree with the department characterization. We reject any suggestion State Farm engaged in a general practice of mishandling or unintentionally underplaying wildfire claims, and we will respond through the process.
The summer heat is approaching, and CAL FIRE is getting ready after a rainy season that allowed vegetation to grow and dry up. Firefighters all over California are prepping by conducting prescribed burns. These burns help to remove the dry brush that is fuel for wildfires. Captain Chris Kenny at Orange Engine 1 reminds everyone to clear space around their homes and get rid of any dead plants that could pose fire hazards.
That fire comes up and just basically follows all of that fuel right on up to the house. Encourage homeowners to take care of their homes in that way, allow their house to kind of have a chance if that fire does seep in the nearby area.
California homeowners can request that firefighters conduct an inspection to make sure their properties are safe. For more information and tips on fire safety, visit fire.ca.gov.
Well, we definitely are seeing some May gray here in Southern California. Cool, cloudy weather. But never fear, as we said, the summer heat is on its way.
That's right, Gabby. And to take a deeper look at some of our forecasts and some of the local risks of fire, let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Isabella Sevilla, for more.
Thank you, Isaiah and Gabby. And that's right, sunny days and summer heat is heading our way. But first, I want to talk a bit more about some of the local areas around us at risk of wildfires. The carbon fire in Brea is now fully extinguished after burning 205 acres of land over 5 days. Here you'll see the fire hazard severity map. The carbon fire is just hitting this red zone right over here, indicating one of two things that CAL FIRE looks for when mapping these areas: the probability of an area burning and the expected behavior of the fire under extreme fuel and weather conditions. So for the greater OC area here on my left, you'll see that the red zone's near the Newport and Laguna areas, as well as more of the inland empires going up towards La Habra. And looking at that general area of Southern California, you'll also notice most of those hazard areas in locations with more vegetation or history of fire, like the Pacific Palisades, and Malibu coast. And coming back for your Fenestra forecast, where the sun is shining bright and the weather is nice and warm, hitting between 67 and 83 degrees. Not much of a chance of rain or any extreme weather this week, but just remember to wear cool clothing and hydrate. Coming back after the break, I'll talk to you more about the second round of storms heading towards the Midwest. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Izzy. Still to come on Chapman News, some people are not feeling the vibe around the construction of the huge OC Vibe Entertainment District. We'll explain coming up.
And I'm Kira Johnson. Missiles fired, Navy destroyers deployed, and Operation Project Freedom launched. How the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz is hitting your wallet right here in Southern California. Coming up, stay with us.
Got a new house. I think I finally found a place that I call home.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella.
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Welcome back to Chapman News. May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and skin cancer is also America's most common cancer. But the most preventable skin cancer is skin cancer as well. The Skin Cancer Foundation is sharing facts about sun protection and encouraging early detection to help save lives. One local dermatologist says there is a misconception about how people can get skin cancer.
I think it's important to note that, sun exposure can be one risk factor, but it's definitely not the only one. And the other thing is it's not always sun exposed places. And that's an important thing because, for example, you can get skin cancer on the bottom of your foot.
Experts say the best ways to prevent skin cancer include using a broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or more, wearing sun-protective clothing, seeking shade whenever possible, and scheduling annual skin exams with your physician.
We're all hearing so much about artificial intelligence every day, but not everyone is buying to the hype. Chapman News reporter Isaac Persky takes a closer look at why many Gen Z students are pushing back against AI.
Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini. The AI race is in full swing. But if you think young people are on board, you're wrong. A recent Gallup poll found that 48% of Gen Z say that the risks of AI in the workforce outweigh its benefits. Hey, ChatGPT, why do young people hate you?
Well, that's a complicated question.
In a recent NBC poll, AI had a lower net positive rating than ICE among U.S. voters. There's also been a 14% decline in excitement about AI among Gen Z since 2025. But aren't young people usually the pioneers when it comes to new technology? Many students say they just don't trust it.
Taking away the problem-solving, writing, and just a general thinking aspect of our lives can very much lead to cognitive atrophy.
Someone who's about to graduate and go into the workforce, it really scares me, the amount of jobs that AI is threatening to take away.
Some people also have environmental concerns when it comes to AI due to its high electricity usage. These data centers also use large amounts of water in order to prevent equipment from overheating. The Environmental and Energy Study Institute found that larger data centers can drink up to 5 million gallons per day, or about 1.8 billion annually. Despite this, some students feel differently about the future of AI.
I think it's a very powerful tool that opens a lot more opportunities for people to learn things or do things that they maybe couldn't.
Despite the pushback, it's clear that AI is just gonna keep growing. So it's up to the public to decide whether to let it continue as is or to push for more regulation. Reporting in Orange, I'm Isaac Persky for Chapman News.
President Trump recently signed an executive order that could speed up research into psychedelic-based therapy. Psychedelic therapy is a treatment that uses controlled substances for therapeutic practices. Chapman News reporter Simone Jackson has more.
Psychedelic-based therapies are gaining attention across the U.S. as research expands into how these treatments can help mental health conditions like PTSD, trauma, and depression. But experts say the science is still evolving.
You can't really make claims that psychedelics can be used to treat a specific mental health condition or disorder. I, as a professional, would never say, this will cure depression or cure anxieties.
The use of ketamine to treat depression, anxiety, and some chronic pain received a great deal of media attention after the 2023 death of actor Matthew Perry. Herzberg stresses that the therapy requires medical supervision.
The therapist is with them for the entire time. So people are never doing ketamine on their own and, would not then have the opportunity to wander into water or to do anything unsafe.
Experts say that when done properly, the process will take some time.
It is not a quick fix. It's something that takes time and concerted effort, and it can also get worse before it gets better.
Professionals also stress these are drugs that require caution.
It's like that quote from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. These are very, very powerful substances. It is very important for people to research and get exposed to all of the different ways that people can engage in psychedelics.
As interest continues to grow, experts say research and safety remain key. I'm Simone Jackson reporting for Chapman News.
Rising tensions in the Middle East are now having real impacts here at home, and especially at the gas pump.
Chapman News reporter Kira Johnson joins us now with a closer look on what's happening overseas and why it matters to you.
Yeah, thank you, Gabby and Isaiah. Rising tensions in a critical global shipping route are continuing to hit drivers here at home, with gas prices climbing across Southern California. Since late February, Iran has shut down the Strait of Hormuz, trapping nearly 2,000 ships and 20,000 sailors inside the Persian Gulf. On Sunday, President Trump launched Operation Project Freedom, with the U.S. Navy escorting those stranded vessels through the strait. In a post on Truth Social, Trump wrote, quote, For the good of Iran and the Middle East and the United States, we have told these countries that we will guide their ships safely out of these restricted waterways. Iran fired back yesterday with missiles, drones, and fast attack boats, targeting U.S. Navy ships and commercial vessels. In the Strait, the U.S. responded, destroying 6 Iranian patrol boats. As of this morning, the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran remains technically still in effect. But today, the UAE says its air defenses are actively shooting down Iranian missiles and drones for the second day straight. Now let me show you exactly what's going on here. Zooming in, this is the narrow strip of water, the Strait of Hormuz. It is only 21 miles wide and carries around 20% of the world's global oil supply. These are the 2,000 vessels that are anchored in the Persian Gulf with nowhere to go. Some of those crews have been out there for 2 months and are running low on food, water, and other supplies. You see this red line right here, that's the Iranian blockade backed by naval mines. They are planting them in the Strait, and the U.S. has been running those underwater drones to clear them. These 2 ships right here, the USS Frank Peterson and the USS Michael Murphy, are the U.S. destroyers leading Project Freedom. 2 commercial ships have successfully made it through the Project Freedom Strait right here. The impact, however, is being felt at home. As of this morning, a gallon of regular gas in Los Angeles County has hit $6.20. That is the highest since October of 2023. And here in Orange County, it is $6.18. Prices have risen more than $1.50 since the war began in February. California still remains the most expensive state in the country for gas. Peace talks do remain stalled and missiles are still flying. And with 20,000 sailors still stranded, the clock is ticking. Reporting live, I'm Kira Johnson for Chapman News.
The construction of OC Vibe has been stirring up a major confusion and heavy traffic, especially during major sports games and events. Our Isabella Sevilla reports.
Move up right behind the other guy.
Police officers conducting traffic, crowds of pedestrians, and traffic backed up to the 57. It's the new normal for Catella Avenue in Anaheim during construction of the mega entertainment complex OC Vibe. This is what Catella Ave looks like off the 57 whenever events and sports games take place at the Honda Center. If you look behind me, you'll notice that the cones have the outer lanes going left and right, while the middle lane goes directly into the parking lot of OC Vibe, contrary to what markings are already on the roads, confusing many drivers. The traffic of the $4 billion OC Vibe project is taking place near the Honda Center and Angel Stadium, so the traffic on game days is especially difficult to navigate. Brittany Higgins goes to Ducks games and says the current traffic configuration is not pedestrian friendly.
The new stadium or this new parking, it's crazy that they have you crossing the street while like there's still cars going, but I mean, we're hoping it gets better. But yeah, it's crazy. Another game day fan says while the construction is a headache, it will be worth the wait.
I feel like it's going to be a lot better in a few years with the OC Vibe. That looks very cool. So positive, I guess.
OC Vibe did not respond to our request for comment, but the website addresses the traffic issues, noting that the project includes a new proposed roadway adjacent to the Santa Ana River that should help with congestion coming off the 57, as well as a network of bridges and walkways that will keep pedestrians away from traffic. Mike Leister, Anaheim City spokesperson, says that in addition to these changes, we also expect to see smart technology, cameras, sensors, signs, and software that will help maximize traffic signals and vehicle flow at peak times. The OC Vibe project will include a concert theater, parks, hotels, dozens of restaurants, and 1,500 new apartments. It will gradually be rolled out starting this year and continuing through 2029. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Isabella Sevilla.
After receiving backlash, a popular California coffee chain has reversed itself, sparking a broader conversation about what it means to be a corporate ally. Philz Coffee now says it will once again display pride flags in its stores. Last month, the chain drew criticism from employees and LGBTQ advocates when it announced it would remove the flag. The company says the reversal followed conversations with staff and community leaders. Chloe Rios Wyatt, CEO of Alianza Trans Latinx, says the original decision to remove the flag was troubling.
It sends a huge message, intentional or not, right? Like that LGBTQ plus people are conditional and that our inclusion depends on convenience or pressure.
Philz Coffee says it recognizes the pride flag as a symbol of safety and belonging. It also introduced community-driven artwork in stores aimed at reflecting local voices.
While we enjoy a mix of sun and clouds here in SoCal, there's more severe weather headed towards the Midwest, even snow for some areas.
That's right. And to talk more about our national forecast, let's toss it back to our weather anchor, Isabella Savea. What's the weather looking like, Izzy?
Thank you, Isaiah and Gabby. If you take a look at the national radar, you'll notice a lot of colorful motion happening in the Rockies areas. There's a significant winter storm expected to bring heavy snow through tomorrow evening, and the most impacted areas will be in that Colorado and Wyoming area. Denver is experiencing the lowest temps right now with a high of 49 and low of 35 degrees. And here's a live video from 9 News Denver of the higher mountains experiencing some of the heavy snow up to 6 inches. The National Weather Service issued a winter storm watch for most of Colorado Front Range and foothills, as well as a winter storm warning for the mountain areas above 6,000 feet. If we take a look back at the radar, you'll see another strong cold front moving from the Chicago and Nashville areas. Widespread showers and thunderstorms are expected throughout most of the country, but in these areas, they will be the strongest today, with high risks of hail and possibility of tornadoes as well. The rest of the country on the East Coast near the south have warmer weather, with the sun shining all the way from Atlanta to New York. Texas is coming with higher heats from the humidity and neighboring weather as well. And before we go, I wanted to end on a high note and show you an amazing phenomenon that happened on the other side of the world. Take a look at this. Iridescent clouds took over the sky in Indonesia, almost unreal. The rare phenomenon appears when sunlight interacts with lingering raindrops in the air after rainfall. And of course, the video went viral because people thought it was AI, and I sure thought it was too. But it's a reminder to always take a look outside and appreciate the nature and beauty around us. And that wraps up this national forecast. Thank you for joining me, and always remember to take a second to appreciate our beautiful world. Sending it back to the desk.
Thanks, Izzy. The 22nd OC Marathon has crossed its finish line. I'm Nico Schwegler, and coming up, I'll tell you about one of the runners who's lined up at the starting line every year since it first began.
And I'm Jenna McLaughlin. Coming up after the break, the online beauty trend pushing some young people to inject themselves with products they find on the internet. I speak to experts to tell you why looks maxing may be more dangerous than it looks.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas. You know it's true. Mom, we love you always. Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
If you mention the term looks maxing to any Gen Z teen or young adult, they'll probably laugh.
But this online trend is concerning. The line between health information and influencer marketing can get blurry fast. Chapman News reporter Jenna McLaughlin joins us live in the studio with more.
Thanks, Gabby and Isaiah. Yes, looks maxing is all over my TikTok feed, and there's no indication the trend is going away anytime soon. It is supposed to be about self-improvement and looking your best physically, but critics say it's dangerous and has gone too far. This is Clavicular. He is a controversial influencer who popularized the phrase looks maxing. He has over 336,000 followers on the streaming site Kick and almost 1 million TikTok followers. Clavicular describes looks maxing as doing whatever it takes to maximize your physical appearance. But this isn't just haircuts, jawlines, or skincare. When I looked through these online looks maxing forums, I found users talking about taking hormones and injections. This is forum site looksmax.org, where an anonymous user posted that their mom found the needles they said they were using to inject HGH-related peptides. Peptides are short chains of amino acids. Some occur naturally in the body, but the peptides being promoted online are not always medically approved or prescribed and could come contaminated.
I have friends who have started companies like out of the blue with a click of a button, and all of a sudden like they're, hustling peptides. I have not seen them take it, so that's kind of the thing with credibility.
Brian even brought some products to show me. The package came in a small pink mailer. There were no real instructions inside, and the label said for research purposes only, not for human or animal use, and included a QR code that appeared to suggest testing information. But it just took us to the website.
If it said tested with that QR code, I would assume it's for a testing.
The looks-maxing trend is also colliding with the online popularity of GLP-1 weight loss drugs. GLP-1 medications are a type of peptide-based drug and can be easily bought on one of these websites. But experts warn that buying compounded or unapproved products online can come with real risks.
Unfortunately, not only do these have systemic effects on their body, they affect the mind. They just won't have any signals going to their brain that they need glucose. The brain only functions on glucose.
For years, the FDA has tried to reel in the peptide industry by sending warning letters to clinics that produce them. But now, under Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the FDA is holding a meeting this summer to discuss easing regulations on more than half a dozen different peptides. This is Jenna McLaughlin reporting for Chapman News.
Yesterday was May 4th, also known as Star Wars Day, which this year came with a reminder to give back to our community.
Reporting from outer space is Lauren Besso with more.
Thank you, Gabby and Isaiah. Yes, yesterday was Star Wars Day. A very exciting day for fans across the entire galaxy. However, the students and teachers of Rancho Santa Gertrude's Elementary School in Santa Fe Springs got to celebrate with an extra special surprise. Volunteers from the nonprofit A Superhero and Friends were at the school bright and early to greet the students with a Star Wars toy and fist bumps from their favorite characters.
Fist bump. Boom.
The day was just as joyful for the volunteers as it was for the students.
I like seeing the faces of the kids light up and just see this look of bewilderment and just wonder of having these characters that they see on the big screen just come out in life. It fills me with the excitement that they're excited.
The Future Superheroes organization also has programs to help many veterans, the homeless community, those with disabilities, those battling illnesses, and the elderly.
Don't know what that person's going through, and that is so true. You don't. We've met some of the most amazing people. The stories they share are better than stuff you'll hear anywhere else.
Just learning people's stories, like I'm no better than someone on the street, or like even just some of these families that we help, like you don't know what anyone has going on behind closed doors.
Yuri Williams founded the Superheroes organization, grieving the death of his mother in 2009. He decided he wanted to bring joy to every person that future superheroes encounters.
Yeah, the mission is really simple, just to uplift humanity, showing hope and letting people know that, there are people out there that can help you. You just lift your hand out and, hopefully I'm the one there to lift you up or someone else is.
The superheroes definitely show us anyone can change the world and everyone has a bright future if we all help support each other along the way. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Lauren Besso, and may the 4th be with you.
Wow, the Force was definitely with them, and athletes across the sports world also hope to have the Jedi touch this time of year.
Nico Schwegler has the latest in the sports galaxy not too far away. Where you at, Nico?
That's right, Gabby and Isaiah. A lot of teams and athletes hope the Force is with them as their seasons wind down. So let's skate right into the Panthers Sports Roundup. Starting on the ice where, well, Jimmy wasn't quacking quite as loud as last week. The Ducks dropped Game 1 of their Western Conference semifinal to Vegas 3-1. Ivan Barbashev capitalized on a disputed no call. You see the icing here with under 5 minutes left to play, restoring the Golden Knights' lead just 65 seconds after Anaheim equalized. It's a tough pill to swallow for Joel Quenneville's team, who outshot Vegas 34-22 in Game 1 and dominated the first period, albeit with no goals. However, Vegas' penalty kill reigned supreme and squashed 4 Ducks power plays. Game 2 hits the ice tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. in Vegas. Meanwhile, on the diamond down the road, Chapman softball eyes a second straight SCIAC championship in as many years. Chapman currently sits second behind nationally ranked Redlands, but took down the Bulldogs in last season's title fight. For senior pitcher Rose Mallon, that momentum from last season has carried over, and she says they're ready for the postseason.
Yeah, I think you definitely learn how to play under pressure when you're in those situations, and I think a lot of the older girls can take that and help out. We have a pretty young team, so helping out some of the freshmen and getting them acclimated to that environment is going to be necessary once we're in that situation.
The Panthers finished strong against Whittier last week and opened their tournament weekend against Laverne on Friday at 1 p.m. And every runner at the OC Marathon has a unique story, but only a few have achieved legacy status. Let me introduce you to one competitor who proves age really is just a number.
My backyard race is you call legacy race that I can run every year. Don't miss it. You can't miss it. Then you're out of a legacy status.
Every year, thousands run the Hogue OC Marathon here in Costa Mesa, but only a select few can truly say they run it every year, at least as long as I've been alive. Yen Darcy certainly is one of those few, and as she approaches age 70, she's taking every single race that she runs, one step at a time. 22 OC marathons later, Darcy is the people's champ.
We love you, Yen! Michael Bryan, congratulations!
But her running journey didn't kickstart until her mid-30s.
One of my coworkers inspired me and said, hey, you gotta run a marathon. I said, no, I'm not competitive. I don't want to run a race. Then she said, just do it one time. Just do it one time. So I did.
What went from a miserable thought quickly became a mandatory mission.
I almost like to run 50K every weekend. Now I can try 50 mile. And then after that, it's easier than you can do 100K. Well, at first, I couldn't think about 100 mile. I thought they crazy. So, but after I did 100K, I said, maybe I can do it.
As an avid ultramarathon lover, Darcy enjoys a long-distance challenge. But at her age, it's about doing the hard thing, even if it's at a snail's pace.
I just want to finish the race. So I don't have any big goals to you know.
Well, I asked her about that sub-2-hour marathon that just got run, and she might not be gunning for that, but she's certainly inspiring many each time she puts on those running shoes. That's all I have for this week on the Panther Sports Roundup. I'm Nico Schwegler. Gabby, Isaiah, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Nico. Sunday is Mother's Day, and to celebrate, we talked with the moms of our graduating seniors, who shared some of their favorite memories. Let's see it.
My favorite memory that I have about Lauren is quiet time with just the two of us. She and I took a bike ride to the playground of her elementary school, and she was on the monkey bars, which was her favorite activity at the time. She was just so excited, so cute about this big ride that we took, and she couldn't wait to come home and tell her brother.
My favorite memory of Isaiah is actually from my wedding. So he was 11 years old and he was my husband's best man. After the ceremony, as we were all walking down the aisle, Isaiah paused right in front of the camera and decided to do the sprinkler dance. It's so Isaiah. He is funny and confident and so full of personality.
My favorite memory with Natalie is we'd sing in the car all the time, but there was a certain song by Ariana Grande called No Tears Left to Cry. She'd always quiz me on this one, like, so you sing it, and I could never get it right. And it was just so funny because she goes, how can it be that you can't get it right.
My favorite memory of Nathaniel is he was 3 years old and we were living in a mountain town in Colorado. And that winter was hard. It was cold, and we had, as a family, decided to go to Florida for spring break. Literally, when we hit the beach, that boy did not stop running. He chased after the birds, he went swimming, he chased the waves. To me, it signifies how he chases life today and how much energy he has for everyone and for everything that he does.
I say the best one is our high school graduation. She surprised all of her family by learning the Samoan dance, and she dedicated it to everybody, to all her family and her friends.
My favorite memory with Icy, I think, would probably be the earliest memory I have of her and her brother when we brought her brother home. Right away, she was so caring and so helpful. It was just like so lovely to see that, her being so little and so involved, and she was loving him already.
Lisa's my only daughter. I have 2 sons. I couldn't ask for a better and nicer daughter. She's very kind, has a big heart, and I'm just so thankful that she's my daughter.
Happy Cinco de Mayo! We'll show you how one OC museum is celebrating coming up right after the break.
Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Ross. And I'm Samantha Thomas.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Stephen.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Chapman News.
Since 2010, Chapman News has been covering weather, entertainment, sports, politics, and news, broadcasting from Dodge College's Marionette Studios.
As the only live newscast in Orange County, our journalists aim to highlight local, statewide, and national communities.
We're here to provide the most accurate, engaging, and relevant news for our community.
Tune in to our nationally recognized and award-winning newscast, Chapman News.
Watch locally on Channel 6 or on our YouTube to stay updated with the latest.
Known as fashion's biggest night, celebrities grace the steps at the Met Gala in New York City, the annual fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. This year's theme was Fashion is Art. After a decade away, Beyoncé, a co-chair of this year's gala, made her highly anticipated return. Attending with her husband Jay-Z and their 14-year-old daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, fellow co-chairs included Anna Wintour, Nicole Kidman, and Venus Williams, with Amazon billionaire Jeff Bezos and his wife Lauren Sanchez serving as honorary chairs. The red carpet was packed with A-list stars including Sabrina Carpenter, Bad Bunny, and Rihanna. The event raised more than $42 million, making it one of the most successful galas to date.
Today is Cinco de Mayo, a celebration of Mexican culture. The Cinco de Mayo festival at Bowers Museum in Santa Ana took place this past weekend, drawing in families for a day filled with music. The event featured live performances from mariachi kids, traditional folclórico dancing, and classical Latin music. There was also face painting and piñata decorating, as a band member says events like this are all about representation.
I think it's important to represent, our tradition. We do like Tejano music, cumbias, corridos, oldies but goodies, so we're here to represent that music.
Cinco de Mayo actually commemorates a Mexican military victory over France in 1862, but has evolved into an event that celebrates both culture and traditions.
We're going to keep the love for our mothers going. Here are a few more special memories of the mothers of our graduating seniors.
My favorite thing about Isaac is the first time he was on stage and he had to do a monologue, and he did a fantastic job, and he got calls from several agents. All these years later, he loves still being on stage.
It hits me the most was when she said her first word, and it was mom. Seeing a person grow from a baby to how she is today, and she's graduating, it's a big journey. She has her mind set on what she wants, how she wants to carry on for a career in her life. It's an amazing moment.
There are so many good qualities of Abby. She's determined, she's perseverant, she is kind and loving, and she's very sentimental, which a lot of people don't know about her. But her sense of humor has gotten her through some tough times. She is able to kind of see the humorous side of any situation, no matter how serious it might be. And I think that that will get her through her life.
My favorite memory with Simone was her high school graduation trip to Paris. She was so busy in high school with dance and school and out with friends all the time. It was the first time in a while that I had her to myself, and it was so fun. We had a blast. But my favorite part, for sure, was realizing, wait a minute, she's just like me, but more confident, better, smarter, funnier, more beautiful. And it was like my 18-year-old self met her and we became best friends.
It's like the 3 C's for Caroline. It's capable, courageous, and creative. She's just always been that kind of person where she's not afraid of anything. She'll just kind of calmly battle through. I'm just super proud of her. She just goes and does this stuff. I think it's just really an honor to be her mom and watch her go do this.
We hope everyone has a wonderful Mother's Day this Sunday and wishes their mother an extra special day. But that is all for Chapman News. I'm Isaiah May.
I'm Gabriella Reynoso. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out our social medias and our website. We'll see you next week. Make sure to tell your mother you love her.